Demon keeps dreaming of a demon town. Motherfucker, bitch, fuck, shit went down. Fleming's got an itch, scratch it with a bitch. Demon keeps dreaming of a demon town. Ooh, Johnson, that's my name.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, introducing you to my Shadows of the Damned Satanic Hell difficulty video walkthrough. This is the level 2-3, and it is What a Wonderful World. So, when this begins, you're going to run up to there, you're going to shoot that light, and you're going to get attacked by a bunch of the masked guys and the horned dudes. And they have a lot of trouble coming into the light. The dudes with the masks don't. And right then I got blindsided, and that dude slashed me, so you want to avoid that. You'll notice, though, the skull cushioner is a beast up close. It will do some considerable damage. And this is a bit of a sloppy fight from me. I'm not going to make any excuses from it. The reason why it is I think I died a few times when I was trying to do the brutal hits, so I decided to just fuck it, balls to the wall and shoot dudes. And it's not always the best strategy. As I've mentioned, it is more than possible to do every section of this game without taking damage. There's actually a guide on YouTube for it. And I want to give kudos to that person, because the patience they must have had is extraordinary, because you can't skip the cutscenes. And if I was ever going to do, you know, like a no-hit run or a no-hurt run of a game that I really liked on its hardest difficulty, it would not be this game. And it would be on a game where the checkpoints I can control, or I can pause and restart the checkpoints, the loading screens aren't too long so I can get right back in the action, and I wouldn't need to be able to skip cutscenes. It would literally have to be something like Bayonetta, because if it's anything like this, I would just be like, fuck that, because I don't have the patience for it. I get too mad. I'm just not that dude. And I have a lot of respect for people that do those kind of runs, because it takes a particular breed of obsession, and I don't have that anymore. I used to, but not quite so much now. But this level is pretty stationary. Why do I keep saying that? My brain, every time I want to say standard, I say stationary, so I do apologise. It's kind of like that Charlie Sheen and Connection thing I do, but this level is pretty standard. We're going to be introduced to the crawlers, which are these little dudes. And these are a pain in the ass, because they're hard to hit, they're very mobile, and they do that. So if there's ever a goat in a room and this guy gets released, he will jizz on it and he will completely turn the room back to darkness. And you have to stop him from doing it. The only thing that's cool about this entire, you know, mechanic is he will be distracted while he tries to put that light out. So you can use this as your advantage and you can kill him. But just be careful with them, because for instance, if he takes an interest in you, they don't attack very often, but when they do, they really hurt. And I've been killed by them once on the Legion Hunter difficulty, so I don't even want to know what kind of damage they do on Satanic Hell, because the damage is definitely upped significantly. But the best way to kill them is with the shotgun. Stun them with a light shot, finish them with a shotgun. I do not recommend using the stomp on anything. The reason I say this is I have died more times instantly from a dude on the ground that clawed me before I did the stomp. Even though I pressed X, the prompt was on the screen, I just died. And especially if you're in a tough section and, you know, you're go to stomp a guy and he fucks it up and you've got to do the entire fight again, it's just unnecessary hassle. So I do not recommend stomping. Always use your gun, always use the brutal attacks. It just makes more sense to me. If you're a beast when it comes to playing Shadows of the Damned, if you're Garcia Fucking Hotspur, go for it. I am not. I'm just a dude controlling him, and controlling him kind of poorly. But yeah, that's just how it is. As far as money goes as well, I'm going to be saving up for nothing but upgrades. I do not buy ammo, I do not buy healing items. You don't need to. The game provides you with more than enough. I think I finished the game with about 17 tequilas, 3 absinthes, and about 40 sakes, so you do not have to buy healing items, you will find enough of them. Didn't it look like the game had crashed then? That's my Xbox, man. He's so lazy these days. It's like that fat homeless guy that can't even be asked, you know, to come up with a decent sign, so he just sits there with a cup. But I'm going to go back to the Ninja Gaiden talk now, because the rest of this is pretty simple. If anything jumps out at me, I will discuss it, but for the most, I'll just talk Ninja Gaiden 3. Right there is a counter move that comes up when a guy's going to smack you from behind. It's really useful, but don't get used to it, because sometimes it doesn't come up, you just get punched. And that is a little frustrating. But in the last video, if you didn't see it, I was talking about Ninja Gaiden 3, how Game Trailer had the new footage of the Abu Dhabi, or the Dubai mission, whatever it's called. So I think Abu Dhabi is the capital of Dubai. But it was interesting, to say the least. It had Ryu climbing through a bunch of dusty-looking levels. He was doing a little bit of platforming, he was doing a lot of killing in some massive arenas of dudes, and it introduced the bow, and the bow seems to have an auto-lock function now, and to me, that sounds like the best thing ever, because if you ever used the bows on the old games, it was just a pain in the ass, because you'd go into the bow, you go into the first person, and it'd take so long to get on target, the enemy had already shot you, and it knocked you out of the camera, so you had to go back into first person, aim at the dude. It was a nuisance, it was a hassle. And this new one, it's literally like fucking aimbot style. He's just literally going straight to them as if it's a full-on lock-on feature. And that sounds amazing. I don't know how overpowered it's going to be, because the bow is generally weak, but it's a thumbs up from me. People might not like it, I do, I like it a lot. I think it's a step in the right direction. It showed him doing some combats in some bigger areas, and it also showed him taking on a different enemy. This enemy looked like a mage. He was wearing a robe. He had like trendy looking trainers on and stuff, and it looks like an upgraded mage off the old games. You know, the dudes that float around, disappear and fire the shit at you and then try and grab you like homos. It reminded me of those guys. On this game though, they don't disappear, they're actually people, and instead of firing balls at you, they have this ability to generate, it almost looks like cubes. It looks like some kind of impressionist art. It looks like Minecraft mode. And they can use them to put a shield up to block your ability. They'll fire these polygonal cubes at you, and it all looks pretty crazy. Nice cheeky little ass shot there, nothing wrong with that. Like it a lot. And it looked like an interesting fight, because this guy by no means was a very good Ninja Gaiden player, but you don't know how hard the game is to play, you don't know how long he had his hands on it, so he might have been just a journalist who was having a bash. And he's fighting these dudes. It's obviously on easy or Path of the Shit Ninja or something, because he's getting his ass handed to him, he's getting beat up a lot, and his life's not going down a lot at all, so it does look like there is an easy mode for people that don't want the challenge, like a win mode. And it looks like they're putting up a good fight, because they're blocking, they're evading, he's trying to flying swallow them, and the flying swallow's missing, and it really looks interesting. Now I'm just going to have to talk about this section, because these are the doors that you have to shoot the emblems to make the door rise. And on this section here, you want to don't try and do it too quickly, because if you do it too quickly, you will not let your resistance to the darkness regenerate, and you'll end up taking unnecessary damage. I do it all the time because I'm just lazy like that. But once you control these engagements with these dudes in here, you can get back to moving through the darkness, and it's all pretty standard. This is a bit annoying, because you've got to take off the shields of these little dudes, and you can't really see them for the blood, which is gay, but there's not much you can do about that. But back to Ninja Gaiden. And the other bit of footage that they showed after the Dubai stuff was the multiplayer. And I have never seen anything as hilarious in my life. It was the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. It were a bunch of dudes dressed as like cliched, you know, feudal Japan kind of warrior garments. There was a dude in one of the cat masks with, you know, Raphael daggers. There was a guy in the big straw rain hat thing. There was people in kimonos. There were enough sandals, you know, to fill a shoe shop. It was ridiculous. And they're running along feudal Japan type levels on roofs that are tiled and shit. And, oh, watch this here. I nearly get the 5 headshots in a row, but there's not enough enemies to do it. And the last enemy, I think, for number 5 is a crawler. I was fucking gutted, because this is the hardest achievement on the game. And I'm like, there's got to be another enemy. And the last enemy is this piece of shit. I was like, come on, seriously, is this what it's going to do? And if you use your light shot, it cancels the count. And I had to use it, I think. Oh no, I might... Yeah, because I can't unstun him, because he's already got darkness on him. And it was a headshot! That should have been it! How bad is that? God, I hate this game. But as I was saying, this multiplayer, it looks so rough. It's like, imagine Assassin's Creed if you had absolutely none of the class. It just looks like the biggest clusterfuck ever, because there's like 7 dudes. It must be a free-for-all. They run into the centre of this map, and they're all just button mashing. It's like Streets of Rage. There's just everybody slashing everybody. Nobody's doing combos. Nobody's doing special moves. Nobody's blocking. No one's evading. It looks like Punch-Out. It is hilarious. And there's a part of me that can't wait for it, because with a couple of people, it could probably be the most fun ever created. It could be, you know, more fun than the first time you discover your genitals. It could be that amazing, but at the same time, it could be the most frustrating and gay experience ever. Because what if you get that guy that does nothing but spam the Izuna drop, or spams the flying swallow, or, you know, what if you come up against some of these people on YouTube that do Master Ninja no-hurt runs that are just fucking absolute bosses and just destroy you in one move? It needs to be balanced somehow, folks, so it's going to just be ridiculous, but at the same time, bring it on, because it looks so stupid, I cannot wait. It's just, that is one of the games that doesn't need a multiplayer. It could do with the co-op, because the co-op sounds like a cool idea, but everything else, you know, weird as shit, just weird as shit. But this is the merchant mechanic in Shadows of the Damned. He's called Christopher. He's kind of like a giant lamp ghost or something. Or lamp goat monster dude. I'm not too sure what he is. But if you're ever wondering where his little shops are, they're always signposted by those lovely luminous blue flowers. They will always tell you that you're coming up to one of Christopher's shops, so just be aware of it. The only thing I don't like about this mechanic is you have to watch your gems dwindle when you pay for things. You can't skip it. It counts down every time. It is so pointless and stupid, it makes no sense. But I use an upgrade gem that I've just bought there to put some damage into the skull cushioner. Always well worth your time. And then I'm going to push forward here to another new mechanic. So this is a glow thing, and he's going to pop up a couple times throughout the game. And the only real thing I can say towards this dude is you don't have to follow him. There's a couple situations later on in the game where he goes off on a fucking, you know, Thomas the Tank Engine little rave, and he goes in all sorts of direction. It's not efficient whatsoever because he backs up on himself, he does figure eights, he messes about, and then he takes you to where you need to go. And during those situations, you're getting attacked by things in the darkness. So you think you've got to stay with this light so that you can take them all on. Wrong, you don't have to. You can run wherever you want. The only difference is it's a little bit harder to see the enemies. But as long as you know that, you should be fine. So, there's another I mean, it does introduce a few different mechanics early on in the game, which is cool. It's just, towards the end, you seem to be doing the same stuff, and I know if you think about it, every single video game is a linear sequence of doing the same stuff, or not so linear sequence if it's a sandbox. But some games hide it better. I generally feel they do. But after this cutscene, you have to go and examine a grave in the northeast side of the cemetery, and I completely forgot about this part. So I was running around waiting for a cutscene to trigger, and I didn't realise how I had to trigger it, because I'd forgot, if I was honest. And I just run around a little bit. I'm like, I'm pretty sure something triggers, because I know I have to fight something here, but it's not happening. So I do a little backtrack, realise that's not the way. Think I might have to trip a wire, can't see a wire, and then I finally caught on. But what's going to happen in this area is this is the first opportunity for you to farm some gems if you want to do it. And I've not discussed this because I didn't do it myself, but I was reading on the forums that there's a couple of glitches to get red gems. This one is not a glitch per se, this is just exploiting a function of the game to get a lot of money. And what it involves is, there's going to be a tower that raises up from that X on the ground. It's going to have 3 red orbs on it that you have to destroy. When you destroy the 3 red orbs, it'll disappear. However, if you don't destroy the orbs, it will continuously spawn enemies. So you can kill these dudes all day, and you can max your gems out at 999. And it's one way of buying a bunch of upgrades early on. So if you do not want to take on this game on its hardest setting legitimately, you can do this for 70 hours, get a ridiculous amount of upgrades, and you know, do whatever you want. But I won't be doing that. I will not be advocating that in this guide. This will be a, you know, how to beat the game as it's intended. And all you have to do is shoot these orbs, and the best thing to do is circle strafe to avoid the enemies. The cool thing about this game is the enemies seem to have a really difficult time hitting you. Their aim is horrific at times. They'll jump at you and they'll still miss. They'll be 2 yards from you, they'll still miss. Every so often you'll get hit if you get unlucky, but for the most, they'll miss you. So just circle strafe to avoid their attacks, hit this with the shotgun, and as soon as it dies, all you'll have to do is clean up the enemies, and then you'll be going through the gate into the next section, which is the rematch with George, only he's completely different and this boss is worse. So just when you thought the shit had already hit the fan and we were all covered in feces, we get a double dosage of, you know, Dutch porn all over our chest. But finish these guys off as legitimately as you can. No idea why I said that. And pick up the ammo, move towards the gate, give the gate the brain, and move forward. But it's such a shame as well, because I love hardest difficulties. Playing a game on the most punishing difficulty level is one of the most satisfying stuff you can do, because you know you beat that game at its hardest. You gave that game every opportunity to do what it wanted to do to you. It was better than you in every conceivable way, and you still overcame it. You still won. And I love that feeling. But when they throw bosses at you like this, that feeling is diminished. But I'll explain the next boss fight in the video that is coming. So thanks for watching, guys, and you take care now.